Good afternoon, welcome to this Facebook Live from Radio Times, all about tonight's Love Island. We've got a sneak peek at what the Islanders get up to in tonight's episode, and we're going to be discussing it. I'm Frances Taylor.
I'm Susanna Lazarus.
And we are so excited, just reading little sneaky peeks about what's going to happen. We're going to share it with you. Now, obviously, this is a Facebook Live, so if you do have any comments, questions, any bits and pieces, do send them to us, and we'll do our best to get round to them. Cool. So we've got to talk about, we've got some new arrivals that sauntered into the villa last night. Charlie, Josh and Megan sent the Islanders into a bit of a spin.
I know, it was so fun, wasn't it? Especially watching the girls. My favourite thing about it was the girls' attempt to be quiet. Do you know when they saw them, they're like, shh, shh, and then one of them screams and all hell breaks loose.
I also thought it was a little bit like that scene in the first Jurassic Park film when sort of Sam Neill takes off his glasses and he can't believe he's seeing a dinosaur, and the girls stood up just seeing these new boys. They could not believe their eyes that new boys were being there. It was very exciting. But in tonight's episode, we found out, we had a little sneak peek of it at the end of last night's episode, that there's going to be speed dating. So Charlie, Josh and Megan get to choose 3 Islanders each that they go on dates with, and now we know who they choose.
So, both of the boys seem pretty keen on both Samira and Hayley. And that's not the biggest surprise, because I remember last night they both were sort of eyeing up Hayley. Maybe they haven't been watching the last few days, who knows?
It's interesting because I think reading their press pack interview, it seems like they do actually, they've watched the series this year and they know the Islanders already, so you always get that sense a bit later on in the series of Love Island, when you're putting in Islanders who have already seen what's going on, they kind of pick out the weaklings. So Samira and Alex aren't the tightest, obviously Hayley and EL aren't the tightest either.
I mean, we could spend like, half an hour talking about Hayley and EL. What a night last night.
Oh my goodness. It was probably one of the best and worst moments of Love Island so far. Just when he said, you know, let's get this hotter, or whatever he said, just walk over to the fire pit. And it was amazing. That was my favourite quote, I think, of the series. I can't say it properly because he swears and it's very rude. But it was, really explosive.
I mean, it was the first time for me that Love Island has veered kind of towards Big Brother territory. And I think that's why Love Island does so well, is that it stands quite far apart from Big Brother in terms of like the explosiveness of the house. It's good every now and again. I don't want to see it all the time, but actually it was great TV.
When it's necessary, and
Exactly.
I really felt like it was necessary last night, because all of that stuff that Hayley seemed to just flat out deny that she'd said anything bad about EL at all. And she said she hated his breathing, she hated the fact he existed, basically. It was, awful. So I think she got her comeuppance.
Although I will really miss the comedic mismatch of Hayley and EL trying to have a conversation, because every time it's like just cross purposes.
They are still technically a couple, so we might get a few more of those moments, although it looked like them going their separate ways last night, saying, don't want to talk to you ever again, pretty much. It ain't no hun of mine, hun. Brilliant.
But it'd be interesting to see which of Charlie and Josh goes for Hayley, if either of them do, or maybe they'll fight out over Samira. So tonight's episode, we see them both take Samira on a date. I feel like, a bit like Montana last series, like everyone's really rooting for Samira. It's been a long time coming.
I totally
Finally,
agree.
she might really have her moment.
Let's hope so. And for Megan as well, she chooses Niall, EL and Alex for her date. But this is quite interesting because we see both EL and Alex actually talking to Megan and showing quite an interest in her. And, you know, obviously I think Alex has been my favourite of him and EL so far. I'm not really much of an EL fan, and I'd love to see Megan actually choose Alex at the end of those 3 dates. But we have this preview video this afternoon that actually shows Megan and EL having a kiss.
So if you watch this preview video, it shows A, him leaning in for a kiss, B, him trying to get in the way of Alex and Megan. He's really, I don't think it's going to be a very popular move, because obviously, I don't think it's just us rooting for Alex, I think it's the nation rooting for Alex. Come on, Alex.
Yeah, he's definitely this year's Camilla. So unlucky in love, and yet we're all behind him and want him to do really well.
Yeah, it's EL as being way more pushy in this situation. You've got sort of meek, timid Alex. I'm really hoping he kind of goes for his girl, because she seems really interested in him. She actually, of all of the Love Islanders, acknowledges the fact that he's a doctor, and actually that boosts his standings.
Yeah.
No one else seems to care.
I've got to say as well, we've got a comment from Jill who says, can't stand Samira, just a user. Controversial.
Ooh, I'm not sure about that.
I don't think I agree with that, no. Although I didn't agree with her when, again, going back to the EL Hayley argument, because Wes had kind of intervened a bit. He'd said, called EL over and said, I've overheard Hayley saying this stuff. And then it was Samira and Laura seemed to go, oh, Wes shouldn't have done that. And actually, no, I think he should have done.
I think Wes was in the right. But I will say, I think you can often judge Islanders by what the other Islanders think of them. And Samira is a very popular character in the house. People tend to go to her, confide in her. It seemed like her and Kendall were very close. I think that's quite a good sign of a person standing in the house. And so, no, I'm sorry, Jill, I don't agree with you. I quite like Samira.
Yeah, I do too.
I'm rooting for her.
I think she's got a really great personality. We haven't seen her enough on screen, actually, and I think if she gets maybe a good partner and they couple up with someone, I think she could be really good value, so hoping that she'll stay in longer. But yes, they're the dates, the speed dates, which I'm really looking forward to. But the Hideaway as well is opening up for business for the very first time this year, which is very exciting. What looks weird. Carry on, I like it. So we've got the Hideaway opening up. Now, what is going to happen this evening is all of the fellow Islanders are going to choose who they want to spend the night there. So, I mean, obviously, the obvious choice, and they went on a date yesterday and it was lovely, having a bottle of beer on a beach towel. I mean, no expense spared, obviously, this is Love Island. Danny and Jack, I think, will probably be the favourites for the Hideaway.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. I mean, they are definitely the most solid couple so far. I think it's a hard thing, though. I mean, you couple up in that first week, you have 8 weeks to go. That's a long stint. But yeah, I mean, I think if we were going with the obvious choice, Danny and Jack, and maybe the Islanders will do that, I'm kind of hoping they do something a bit different, though. How nice would it be to see how Alex, fighting off Eyal, and yet the fellow Islanders engineer it so he gets a night in the Hideaway with Megan? Wouldn't that be awesome?
That would be really cool, and I think I'd love to see that. But it's just interesting, isn't it? You don't know which way they're going to go, because you don't know if the Islanders want to play devil's advocate a bit and see a bit of explosive stuff, or if they just want to be nice.
And we've got to remember that they're not watching this, are they? They're not watching what we're watching. We can't predict their actions in the way that I might be able to predict who you would send into the villa.
Exactly, totally agree. But I do think, for comedy value, Eyal and Hayley spending a night locked in a villa, in the Hideaway in the villa, sorry. I think only one of them would come out alive. I wouldn't know which one to put money on, to be honest, after watching that argument. But I'd love to see them cooped up, literally locked away for a whole night.
I saw a great meme over the weekend. It was Eyal is that guy who you're stuck in a kitchen at 3 a.m. at a house party chatting to, and you just can't get out of the conversation. That is Eyal.
That is so who he is. I know, and you just, some of the stuff you think, oh, that's quite interesting. Most of it, no. You just think, I'm bored listening to
But
this.
then you have Hayley, so there's a raunchy game of dares in the villa tonight where they get each other to do weird stuff. Someone dares Hayley to lick Adam's earlobe. Lo and behold, Hayley does not know what an earlobe is, which I guess should not surprise us at this stage, given that she also doesn't know what an aura is. She doesn't know what superficial means, and her definition of Brexit is unique.
We'll have no more trees. Yeah, I just don't know what to make of Hayley. I kind of feel like she's definitely playing a game, not only with the boys, but also just the stuff that's coming out of her mouth. I mean, everyone knows what an earlobe is, surely? I mean, she's what, 20, 21? I can't believe you could go 20 years on this earth and not know what an earlobe is.
I don't really know how she's got so far through life without knowing what an earlobe is.
No.
But hey.
I know, but she is great value. And again, I can see, loads of people online are saying, get Hayley out, we hate Hayley, da-da-da. But actually, I think you can see why the producers have put her in there. She's great value, and she's made some of the most memorable and almost best bits of the series.
I want her to stay in. I'll be quite gutted if we vote her out.
Although Neil Cook does agree with us, Hayley is false and dangerous.
I don't know if I'd go that far.
I mean, dangerous is quite a word to use, but false I will agree with. But yeah, so that is what's happening on Love Island tonight. I, for one, can't wait.
I know, there's a very the raunchy game of dares does sound like it's going to make good TV. I think Eyal has to suck Megan's finger. He decides to kiss her instead. Samira gets to kiss Charlie, and Rosie has to lick food off Alex's chest.
Well, I think that is going to provide record viewing figures for ITV2 this evening. So thank you very much for joining us on this Facebook Live. We'll be back very soon to talk more Love Island.